Okay, I'm Vinny Appice. Not Appice, Appice. Well, I was in LA in the 80s, and before the Sabbath thing, I was in my own band called Appice, and we had an album out, and it wasn't really going anywhere, you know. But the cool thing was we did play some gigs with the early Quiet Riot with Randy Rhoads, and Van Halen used to come see us play, you know, a couple times, and so it was back in the day before everybody got big, Motley Crue and all those bands. And then I actually, before Black Sabbath, I got a call from Sharon Osbourne, and she was putting a new band together with Ozzy, you know, because Ozzy at that point was like, I heard he was holed up in the hotel just partying all the time. And so she called me and said, I'm putting a band together with Ozzy. We heard about you. We would fly you to England and go hang out with Ozzy and, you know, see how it goes and maybe be in the band. So, oh, okay. But I was like 19 years old. So I thought, let me ask my brother Carmine, because I know he played together with Ozzy. He was in Cactus and they were in Black Sabbath back in the 70s. So I told Carmine that I got a call, and I said, is he crazy? Should I do this? He goes, oh man, he's wild, he's crazy, blah, 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 blah. So I thought, I'm not gonna do this. So I called him up and I actually turned it down. And then about a month later, I get a call from Black Sabbath, tour manager. And just came back from Chicago from a Ludwig Drums photo shoot with all the endorsers, all the drummers. And they said, would you want to come down and meet Tony Iommi? We need a drummer. And they were in LA, so it was easy to go check it out. So I said, sure. So I went down to the Marquis Hotel, met Tony Iommi. He came in, and he had my Appice album, and he really liked it. And that was produced by Andy Johns. There's a nice drum sound on there, you know, good drum sound. And so we got along really great, and then he invited me to come down and play with them the next day. So I went down the next day. I met Ronnie, Geezer, and that's how I met everybody. And the first song we played was Neon Nights. So I heard it on the radio like 2 weeks before. I thought, wow, that singer's really good, because I didn't know Ronnie's career with Rainbow. I wasn't a Rainbow fan, and I heard of his name, obviously, but I didn't really listen to them, you know. And then when I heard Neon Nights on the radio, I went, wow, that's awesome, man. This guy kicks ass. And then 2 weeks later, I'm down there playing with him, you know. So then we played a little bit, and then they said, all right, you're in the band. Dio, after the Black Sabbath run for about 2 years, they were having problems getting along and business problems, Ronnie, Tony, and Geezer, and Ronnie decided, I'm going to leave the band. And he had a record deal in place with Warner Brothers, and that record was supposed to be Ronnie making a solo record with his friends, like, you know, people he played with before and just a lot of his friends in the music business. It was just going to be a solo record because he was in Black Sabbath. But things became really tense, and then he decided he's leaving. And he asked me if I wanted to join him and put a new band together. And that was like 1982, the end of 82. And so I said, yeah, because we got along great, and we're both Italian. We both like tuna fish sandwiches, so it was cool. So we went and did that. We went over to England to look for guitar players, and he was in touch with Jimmy Bain, but Jimmy Bain, the bass player, our bass player, was on tour, so we had to wait a couple of days. So Ronnie and I would go look in the paper in London. We flew to London and looked in the paper and go, let's go check these bands out. Maybe there's a guitar player. In a couple of places there was like a reggae band playing. And guy, dreadlocks and shit. So I don't think that's the guy. And so then we did that until Jimmy came back, and then he recommended Vivian Campbell. And then, so we flew Viv in, and we played one day, and it was like, yeah. And that was the band. And then from there, that was 83. So it became, we started working on the record and all that stuff. And then that's probably just when the hair bands started getting popular, Poison and Motley Crue and Rat and all those guys, So, but we weren't a hair band, I got Dio singing, we were more a musicians band. Yeah, actually I heard a couple times they go, well, the guy can't sing, but he's got great hair. And they got a record deal. Then we started scratching our head going, wait a minute, this is getting to be ridiculous, It's getting to be, everybody's jumping on a bandwagon, and should be about the music, really, not the hair so much. But we've heard that a lot of times, They're not that good, but they got good hair. Okay, that's what it's come to. So I told Ronnie, maybe we should get some wigs, some green hair or something. But it was true. They were signing bands because of the look and the hair and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the 80s was huge because the record business was really healthy. People were getting big deals. They were getting merchandise deals. They were getting publishing deals. People were making some good money. And then there were a lot of festivals. There used to be the Texas Jam here. There used to be a bunch of festivals in the U.S., big rock festivals. Europe, massive amount of giant festivals, and they still have festivals there. Here, they've all gone away almost, starting to come back now. And then, so that continued. Then you could see a change in the 90s when the band started looking more like the road crews, flannel shirts, and that was the look, and no stage production. With Dio and Sabbath, we had some production, but Ronnie really liked production. We had dragons on stage and pyramids and explosions, and he put the money into the production of the shows. So we had some big shows, and a lot of bands had big shows. Ozzy had a great show, big stage set and everything. Then come the 90s, and all of a sudden it's like 3 or 4 guys playing on stage, no stage clothes, nothing, just that's it. And we saw that when because we got back together with Black Sabbath in '91, and that's when Nirvana came out, and we, got back together, and we did an album called Dehumanizer, really kick-ass album, really heavy and dark, and it didn't get the attention that it should have because the music was changing. It was going into more grungy kind of stuff, and we were still doing the heavy, dark metal stuff. So that's when you could really see it changing, So we went from playing arenas at that point. We had 2 limos going to the arenas. We'd fly in. We flew commercial back then. I don't know why, but that's what they did. And then we'd have 2 limos pick us up to the nice hotel, and limos going to the arena to play. And then in '92, that was in the 80s, in '92, we were actually staying at the Holiday Inn. We took the Holiday Inn van to get to the gig. I couldn't believe, we were all laughing. We're going, so this is what it come to. We're all sitting there. There's Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Ronnie James Dio, and me sitting there. And we're in the Holiday Inn van going to the venue. So then we were playing theaters, 2,000-3,000 people before we were playing arenas and sheds. So we felt it there. And then again, that band lasted a couple of years. It seems to be the history of this lineup. And then Ronnie wanted to reform Dio again. So we did that, and it was with new guys. And then we were playing, theaters and sometimes big clubs. So you could see, and back in the 80s, I remember Ronnie saying, we're never going to play clubs. Never go back to that. Never. I said, yeah, good. And then there we were playing some clubs, I didn't care. I just liked playing, but to see Ronnie playing some of the clubs and stuff, he deserves better than that, He was so great. If there wasn't a Black Sabbath, there wouldn't have been a lot of things. Yeah. I mean, the freakiest thing is back when they started was when Tony Iommi hurt his fingers. You know, he's working in a factory and he accidentally cut 2 tips of his fingers off. And the doctor told him, and this is what Tony told me, doctor said, you're not going to be able to play guitar anymore. That's it. You're done. And Tony didn't believe that, you know, he didn't feel that either. So he went and any way he could replaced what he lost with whatever he could find, you know, to be able to play. Then he found that tuning the guitar down made the strings looser and easier to play. That's how it started. Right?
Yeah.
That gave it that sound, and it started a phenomenon that everybody's tuning down, and then 5-string basses and 7-string guitars, and that's how it started. So who knows if that didn't happen, if they still played in, you know, concert pitch, like, if anybody would have did that, you know. But Sabbath started so many things.